I've had some seriously disaster details in the past, but going into this job, I did not expect it to be as bad as it really was. I've talked about it many times, but the problem with mobile detailing is that there's no way to get these customers comfortable enough to send you pictures of the vehicle, give you and let you know things about the vehicle so that you know what you're getting into. They would rather lie to me. So what started out as light dog hair in the vehicle turned out to be the worst amount of dog hair that I've ever had to clean. This has got to be why people quit detailing, right? Going into the job, I was aware how many vehicles I had. I had to do 2 vehicles. The first one, super nice. It was electric. It was like a 2022. Not a bad vehicle at all. Honestly, a great one to start with. I probably would have rather to hit the bad one first, but it's okay because I was not expecting what I had to go into. Now, I had done a detailing job for this guy years prior, but I completely forgot how bad the dog hair was in his vehicle, let alone the fact that in before the job I did for him, he had like a really small, like 2-door car. Now, he had a full-on SUV, 3 seats in the vehicle, and it was so ridiculous. I went into the job, and obviously, as I'm quoting him and pricing him out, he's giving me a couple little things, letting me know there's light dog hair in the vehicle. Great, okay, 100% cool. But as we finish that first vehicle, and he pulls up the second one, and I start to look inside of it, I'm really questioning, wait, what's going on here? Light dog hair? I did not price this guy for a disaster dog hair detail, something that was going to take me hours additionally because of how bad this dog hair was, not even to mention how bad the carpet was in this vehicle, that the dog hair was not really coming out. Even using a lily brush, using a second dog hair tool, I don't know what it's called, but it took me so long to try to pull this out of this guy's carpet, and some of the dog hair wouldn't come out no matter what I would do. But first off, massive pricing mistake in that case, because I did not supplement the amount of income I should have added onto it for how many hours of extra labor we were going to have to do, let alone the fact that it was 30 degrees outside. But even if we forget about that, I did not know how bad this vehicle was going to be, and there was a lot of dog hair, which is something that I always do an additional charge on, if any. Even if I don't add an additional charge, it's probably not even a job I would go do. If somebody let me know there is severe dog hair, I'm either not going to do the job, or I'm going to add a decent amount. That way it makes it worth it for me, and at least I would know really what I'm getting into. Now, he could have told me nothing. He did tell me there was going to be light dog hair. I don't know what this guy thinks light dog hair is. I could have made a fur coat, 2 fur coats out of how much dog hair I had to get out of this car. And everybody's gonna say, you're stupid, Matt. Why didn't you just ask more questions? Ask for pictures. Customers are not this trustworthy. Customers do not believe that they should be sending you this stuff. Not only the fact that you could scam them or you could get information on them that they don't want you to have and not go do the job. The thing is that they understand that your pricing strategy is probably going to increase once you're aware of the depth of difficulty this job is gonna be. So if I were to know that the dog hair was severe, get pictures from him, this guy knows that I would have chalked on another 30, 40, 50 bucks for how bad the dog hair was, and he did not want something like that. Now, he was accommodating with the fact that it was 30 degrees, let us come inside to get some hot cocoa, but are we not going to think about the fact that this guy literally told me that it was light dog hair when in fact it was not light, and it was very far from it? Not to mention, not only in the carpets, in the seats, in the back seats, in the cup holders, but along every single surface there was so much dust, dirt, grime, wrappers, everything. This car hadn't been cleaned out since it was purchased, and this is honestly something that I find most of my detailing customers do. I am never really just getting a maintenance detail. Now, sometimes, like the first car I got from this guy, it was very maintenance and it was very easy and very doable. The second car is just one of the ring of many disaster details. Customers thinking that I need to take their car from 0 to hero, and you think I would have learned by now, but I don't want to have to lose these customers, right? Whether or not I had done a car for him in the past, whether or not I have no idea how bad it's really going to be, obviously getting that paycheck is going to be great, and you're making a decent amount of money for what you're going into, but to not really know the truth of what you should be able to charge is the difference. Regardless of how bad a vehicle is, though, I usually just charge based on sizing, so I was able to charge around the fact that this was a freaking SUV, and it was decent size, pretty large, and we ran through our exact same process. That's why I really only charge based on car sizing. If he would have let me know about a lot of dog hair or sent me pictures, then I would have added things in. If it would have been living far from me, then I would have added travel fees, but I usually only charge based on sizing because we're going to run through the same exact process no matter what. And obviously if the severity level is super high, it's going to add a lot more labor and time. But if it's not that high, it's about moderate, then we're going to have to run through the same exact process anyway. So there's no reason for me to really be bumping up prices like crazy. It's all just going to kind of factor in the end because, you know, you assume it's a big car. We're going to go through the same process as a little car, but it's going to be more because it's such a big vehicle. You're having to cover more area. So we always start out, I do one thing, the other guy does another. I always have someone that works works with me. That way we can finish jobs super fast. We can split up kind of the jobs or split up what we have to do for the process. And he's aware of what to do. I'm aware of what to do. We finish jobs insanely fast. And, you know, he gets a cut and I get my cut. It's obviously all of my equipment. So we always start on this process. I go through with the vacuum. Obviously, we're going to pull the trash out first, right? So have a trash bag ready. Put all the trash in this trash bag. You want to be kind of scraping in whatever you can. Reaching the stuff out of the cup holders, taking out change if you can. That's going to get in the way. Taking stuff out of the back seats, underneath all the seats, checking for coffee cups, checking for lids, checking for straws, candy, whatever you can. Checking the back pockets, the little cubbies in the back of the seats. You want to remove all of the trash first. Then I go through with my vacuum. I'm always going to start out with the long attachment. That way I can get underneath stuff. This is where you're really going to have to get your starter, is getting all the nitty gritty stuff that really is going to be in your way by the end of the cleaning. Then you really hit the base of it with a couple different kinds of tips. You can get stuff that hits your harder to reach spots, then get something that covers a broader area. That way you're covering more in one sweep instead of having to like go over, oh, small, 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 go over small, hit the little spots everywhere using a small one. No. I always switch between them. Then as I'm going and he's going, he has a bunch of detail brushes as well as a spray bottle full of water. He also has soap in there, using a microfiber towel as well, covering all of the surfaces that he possibly can, getting them clean, getting them back shining, and removing that initial layer of dirt before in the very end that I come back with my additional tip. It's a bristle brush tip. It's going to help remove all of the extra little dust and the last bit and specks of spots that are going to be on this car's surfaces. Now, there's obviously little in-between spots where we have to work together. The cup holders. He's going to go through with his towel, with his detail brushes and the spray bottle, get everything nice and wet in a cup holder or even on the change, and then I'm going to come back through and vacuum it back up. Obviously vacuuming up the liquid as well, I don't really care, but making sure that we're really hitting these hard to reach areas that are going to have like a bulk of the dust and dirt and honestly the stuff that a lot of people are going to see. When you're going around with that bristle brush attachment, you're hitting behind the wheel, every little place you can think of, on the sides of the seats where the little buttons are, you can move it. I hit all the inside, like where the little tracks are on the seats. I hit all stuff like that. You want to get rid of all that dust and that grime. Then, after we move through the entirety of the vehicle, I'm going to get my window cleaner, hit all the inside windows. Obviously, that one right there, the one in front of the driver's seat, the one in front of the passenger seat, the side mirrors, windows on the inside. Then we're going to move to the outside of the vehicle. I always say I do not have very difficult processes or services. I have the most basic services, but we have mastered the process to this point at which we're not having a single problem finishing up cars and giving them to a high quality within a reasonable amount of time, not using a crazy amount of stuff like a steamer or going through with a carpet extractor, going through with a headliner cleaning, none of that. But once we get to the outside, we're coming through, we got a bucket of water. I have my Ryobi 1900 pressure washer. I have my Meguiar's wash and wax. I have a foam cannon full of that with a little bit of water. He has a bucket of water as well as soap in it and a towel so that he can go over after I hit everything with some water for the initial rinse just to get that first layer of dirt off. Then I come back with my foam cannon. Then he comes back with a wash towel or a wash mitt. You just put your hand in it like an oven mitt, and he adds the water and the soap on top of what I've already put on there with my foam cannon. Then after we do that, we rinse everything off side to side, side to side to side to side. Then I'm going to go through, hit my wheel wells with my pressure washer. I'm going to hit all the rims, tires, and I'm going to go inside and I'm going to hit the door jambs with my pressure washer, obviously underneath the driver's side door, passenger door, in between all the cracks between all the doors. And in the back where you want to hit the inside of the car, make sure you're getting all that because it's going to be closed and dust is going to be gathering inside where that trunk area is on that actual door that comes up and down. That's where you need to hit. We're hitting the top of the car. I am not a person that washes the bottom of the car. That can be an option for you. But that all being said, the best part and the easiest part is the exterior wash. You're really going through and just giving it the finishing touch that is not that hard and not that tedious, but just to mention it again, this was a disaster. The amount of dog hair in this car took me so long, took way longer for my part of it, so then he's having to add extra stuff into his process and his steps because I'm going through and it's taking me so long to get it out of this customer's carpet, out of the back of the seats, and you just want to be a little more prepared for stuff like that. Luckily, I've done vehicles like this, so I had a lily brush, I had another attachment to actually be able to get the dog hair up, but for someone that's not prepared for something like that, you are going to have a hell of a time just because of the amount of effort you're gonna have to put into it, and it's gonna hurt more than you didn't charge and get that money's worth that you should have. All in all, the vehicle got done, we got tipped. I'm sure he's gonna have me back out to clean it again, and trust me, the next time I'm gonna be aware of how bad this vehicle is and I'm gonna bump it up a few dollars. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, click the link down below to join my school community. I have 6+ full-length courses in there describing to you every single possible angle of how to start a can cleaning business, mobile detailing business, my entire Facebook strategy that I've landed tens of thousands of dollars with zero ad spend. Also an entire course on how to traverse the financial potential markets from somebody who makes thousands of dollars a month inside the markets. And of course on how I talk to customers and sell them personally with my actual messages and my before and after pictures that I use to land them. Once again, click the link down below and join my Skool community today. And join something where there's a ton of other like-minded individuals trying to do the same exact thing as you that you can talk to and message daily.